What do you say we start up a new section for this channel? Or, well, new section, more of kind of new series of videos that I'll be doing. Duel puzzles. I really like the fact that on Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship 2011, over the Nexus, you got the option to make your own duel puzzles, and I really enjoyed making those. So, I believe it was 2 days ago I talked to the end user GNexWrecker about duel puzzles, and I thought, why not make a series on my channel with the duel puzzles? So, in this video, using both my main account and my second account, which is Neton, I will be explaining to you guys how this is going to go, how this is going to work, and how I'm going to ask you to solve things, and just like the basic things you need to know to understand these duel puzzle videos and how I want things to go. So, what are duel puzzles? For those that do not know, are unfamiliar with it. In duel puzzles, you pretty much get a duel field set for you. Like, this is the current one. Like, I'll be using for the example, it's a very simple one. All of my duel puzzles will be more difficult. Some only a little bit more difficult, some a lot more difficult. I've already made two duel puzzles that I got from World Championship 2011. One is easy, one is quite difficult. So, but they won't be as easy as this. I just have this easy one to explain things. As I said, you get your field set for you. Like, you have some monsters on the field, some spells and traps, your graveyard, deck, banished, extra deck, hand, and the opponents are all set. In duel puzzles, like in games, you don't have a full deck of 40. You barely have a full deck of 40. I can't actually remember any time you have a full deck of 40. DN does not support you dueling with less than 40 cards, which is very logical. So what I did is I just banished all of the cards that I do not use. I banished them face down to make clear that they are not part of the duel puzzle. Extra deck monsters, unfortunately, cannot be banished face down. You can only banish cards face down from the deck, and extra deck cards can never go to the main deck. So, but this is just the example. I just took two random decks from both my accounts. But in the duel puzzle videos, I'll just be sure, I'll just take the extra deck monsters that I need for the duel puzzle, and then they're in the extra deck, and then all other cards that I don't need, I banish them face down. Like, the banish zone will now look something like this. You won't know what any of these cards are unless I hover over them. But the whole point is, it might happen in some duel puzzles that cards that are banished will be important. Like, I have a banished Fortune Lady Dark, and I have this Fortune Lady spell. I can't exactly remember what it's called, but it's returns a banished Fortune Lady from banished to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. And how do I then show that the banished the banished card is actually part of the duel puzzle, unlike all of the face down ones? Well, I banish all of my cards face down so that this is what the banished zone will look like. And any card that is added to that, just as an example, I'll use Junk Synchron. Junk Synchron is now face up. You'll see that it's face up, and all others are face down. This shows that only Junk Synchron, in this case of the banished cards, only Junk Synchron is actually part of the duel puzzle. So I hope you guys will understand that. Only the face up cards are part of the duel puzzle. But in every time I make a duel puzzle video, I'll be sure to explain that. Now, as an example, this is going to be the field. Also, something I forgot to mention in the duel puzzle, you have your life points set to a specific amount, and I actually forgot to set the life points for this duel puzzle, so just let me run a quick calculation to know what we have to do here. So that's... Alright, look. I can just switch back and forth between my accounts. You see that? That is why I use my own second account and not something else to do this. because I can just freely switch back and forth and do things quickly the way I want them to, so that I don't have to ask an opponent to do that or ask a friend to do that. This is just the quickest and easiest way. Usually you'll have like 100 life points yourself. That's like, if your life points don't matter, you'll usually be at 100. If they do matter, they might be at difference. It doesn't really matter. In this case, your own life points don't matter anything. Okay, so life points are set. Also, would there be a set card on the field? Like, let's say Junk Synchron would be set and you would be Niton, you would be the Achicha Archer player, then normally you cannot see what the face down cards are. But in duel puzzles, to be able to properly do duel puzzles, you're allowed to look at any and all cards that are not public knowledge. You're allowed to look at your opponent's set cards, knowing that this is Junk Synchron. You're allowed to look at would the opponent have a set card, knowing it is Mirror Force. You are even allowed to look at your own deck. Important thing to note, the deck is in a specific order. In most duel puzzles where there are still cards on the main deck, they're in there in a specific order and need to stay that way. Would I show my main deck in the duel puzzle video, they will be shuffled. If you try to recreate the duel puzzle on your own account, do note that the cards will be reshuffled in the deck, and that you'll have to like draw them all and then put them back on the deck in proper order. So please keep that in mind. But you can check your own. You can check opponents' face down cards, monsters and spells and traps. You can check their hand, like knowing they have Gorz, Dragodia, Effect Veiler. You can check your own deck. You can check the opponent's deck. Anything that is not public knowledge is public knowledge for the duel puzzle, so that you can do it properly. I think I went over everything for that for the duel puzzle rules. Now, this example, this would be the field setup for duel puzzle explanation. I'll probably start with explaining the opponent's field first and then to your own field, because your own field is bigger and the more important, so I feel that if I do that second, that gives like an extra important feel. But anyway, that's the first do. I don't really know. You guys tell me. Would you want to learn of the opponent's card first and then my cards, or the other way around? Anyway, for this example, the opponent controls a face-up Achicha Archer. That is all. A face-up attack position Achicha Archer. No extra deck, no spells and traps, no hand, no main deck. Just Achicha Archer in attack position. You, as the player, have Junk Synchron in your hand, control a face-up attack position Quillbolt Hedgehog, and in the graveyard Synchron Explorer. In the extra deck you have Junk Warrior and Tech Genius Hyper Librarian. This is the information that I would give you in the Duel Puzzle Challenge video. Then it's up to you to either write them down, or if you have the cards in real life, just place them on your duel mat in real life and just try out things. Because you have to, in this one turn, beat the opponent before the turn ends. So if you click end turn, then the duel puzzle is over and then you have failed. You are allowed to win in the end phase, because end phase is not yet the end of the turn. The end of the turn is like after the end phase. After end phase, before the next player's draw phase. So would you use like Super Rejuvenation to draw some cards in the end phase and then you get Exodia, you still win. Because that's not the end of the turn yet. Like, the turn hasn't ended yet. So just win in one turn. That is the challenge in all duel videos. I mean, duel puzzle videos. So, I gave you the field setup. Now, for the normal duel puzzle videos, from which I'll upload the first one tomorrow, very likely, I will ask you to recreate the situation, whether on DN or in real life or on paper or whichever way you prefer, and try and solve it. Try to find out what actions need to be taken, what steps need to be taken in order for the turn player, player A, in this case Alka1993, to win the duel in that one turn. I would please ask of you to not, and I repeat, not give the answers to the duel puzzle in a comment. because there are a good amount of people that have not yet solved the duel puzzle who will read the comments. There's a good chance that that will happen, and those people will still want to solve the duel puzzle completely on their own without any help. But if you post it in the comments and they read it, then you kind of spoil the fun for them. So that is what I want to make sure does not happen. So I'm going to ask if you if you have passed, if you know, or at least think you know how it works, and you've worked it out yourself. Instead of posting a comment, PM me on YouTube. That way I can always look back on it. Like, if I'm on Dueling Network and you see me there, PM me on Dueling Network saying, yeah, I solved it, but I'd like you, but then I can't look back at it later. Just please send me a PM on YouTube with, saying, I think I know, or I know how to solve duel puzzle number 001, 002, 003, 012, whichever duel puzzle it is, and then either write down the steps that you take, and then I will recreate the steps and see if that works according to the way you explain them. Or if you've recreated the thing on Dueling Network, and you've made a video of it, like the way I put up the field like this with banishing the cards face down, or whatever, whichever way you like. But if you've recreated the situation on Dueling Network, then you can just send me the link to that video when you have uploaded it to your YouTube channel, or you can just film yourself doing it in real life on your real duel mat and send me that video in a PM and explain the steps you take and show the steps you take in that video. That is fine by me as well. I do not mind. However, I would please ask of you not to post it as a video response. Although I'm still thinking about that, I'm also thinking about how I'm going to give the answers, because obviously I'm not going to give the answers to the duel puzzle in the duel puzzle challenge video. How I will do that is probably a few days to a week after I've posted the initial duel puzzle video. I will record the answers, although I'll probably have recorded the answer video on the same day I make the duel puzzle challenge video, but then I'll upload it, put it as private, I think it is, so that way no one can watch the video unless they have the link. And then I'll put it up as, I'm still thinking about this one though, well, you'll see when the next video is up. Either I post it as a video response and make sure to tell you guys not to click the video response unless you want spoilers, unless you want the answers. Or I could just make sure that only when people PM me I have I've gotten the answer, or I can't seem to solve it, would you please give me the answer, and then I give them the link. I think I'll go for posting it as a video response, but then asking people, just making clear in every video, answers are in video response, do not click it if you still want to try and solve it yourself. I think I'll go for that. So, now that that is hopefully clear, and once again, any questions and comments, and I'll go into the comment section. Now I'm going to act as if this is the answer video. So I'm going to welcome you guys to the answer video, explain that this is duel number 002, in this case duel number explanation, and really quickly, quicker than the challenge video, go over the setup of the field and the life points, because the life points will definitely be important. I will quickly go over that. No, I actually won't go over that, because since it's linked to the original video, you can just watch it there. But I'll just have you look at the field and give you the answers. I have written down steps of all of the duel puzzles that I've made. The two duel puzzles that I will be uploading as the first and second duel video that I got from World Championship 2011. I've written down the exact steps of how to solve it, and I'll give the the order in which you do the steps, and then tell them in the video. Now, there's two things you need to note about the answers. For one, some things may be in different order. Let's say you want to inflict 1800 points of burn damage, and you have both Meteor of Destruction and Poison of the Old Man in your hand, then you can use them in either order. Sometimes, depending on the opponent's life points, but you can activate them in either order. my steps, my answers will just give you one order. Sometimes there will be others, I'll just show one order. If I know of other orders, I might tell them, I might not. I'm just going to show you one way to do it. Alright? Okay, now, this dual puzzle, I'm just going to give you the quick answers as an example. If you still want to try and solve it yourself, this easy one, then go ahead and pause the video now. Hyper Librarian, Junk Warrior here, Synchron Explorer, Hedgehog, Junk Synchron, Archer to Archer, solve the video, pause it. As explanation, now what you do here is you normal summon Junk Synchron, activate effect, special summon Synchron Explorer. That is step 1. Step 2 is Synchro Summon, using Synchron Explorer and Junk Synchron to summon Junk Warrior. Since there is a level 2 monster on the field, face up on your field, when Junk Warrior is Synchro Summoned, Junk Warrior gains that monster's attack. So, plus 800 attack to 3100. Step 3. Enter battle phase, attack Archer to Archer with Junk Warrior. 3100 against 1200. That will be 1900 damage to Grave. And then you attack directly with Quillbolt Hedgehog, 800 damage is taken, and you will have paused the duel video, the duel puzzle. You have succeeded because the opponent's life points are 0. Now, the only slight difficulty, you could say, in this duel puzzle would be that you can also summon Librarian. Mostly, most of the cards that are shown in the video will have some use. Like, you have to discard this, or you have to summon this, or you have to use this effect. But some cards will only be in there to confuse you, to give you extra options that you shouldn't take, to make you have to think more. One of my duel videos will have like 8 synchro monsters, and you'll use like only 3. And you have to think about it and which synchro monster are useful. In this case, I could have also synchro summoned Hyper Librarian, which normally has more attack points than Junk Warrior. But with Junk Warrior's effect, I could increase its attack points thanks to Quillbolt Hedgehog and deal enough damage. I could have destroyed Archer to Archer as well with Hyper Librarian, but Hyper Librarian and then Quillbolt Hedgehog together would not be able to lower Neton's life points to 0, which would have mean you would have failed the duel puzzle. So I'll put you I'll sort of give you a push in the wrong direction with some cards, but usually a lot of the cards to every card will be necessary in the duel video. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this. This has been quite a long explanation video. I hope you're looking forward to the duel puzzle videos. I am, and I'm going to see how popular it's going to get. And as I said, I already have 2 pre-made. I actually have a third on that game, but that only works with the AI on that, and it's not a proper duel puzzle, I guess. So I can only put 2 of them from that game on Dueling Network. And any others I'll make later. Like, the third duel puzzle will most definitely have cards that were made after that game, so that's, I believe, Extreme Victory, which is the final 5D set, and further, like it'll use Xyz Monsters or Nordics or whatever. And I'll make a lot of different duel puzzles. Duel puzzles can include banned cards, like one of them will have Glow Up Bulb and some in there, but it's also possible to have 2 Glow Up Bulbs in a deck. Forbidden cards can be part of duel puzzles. You'll just have to go into Unlimited to do the actual duel. But I don't expect that to be a problem. Alright guys, this was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are looking forward to the duel puzzle videos, and that I'll get a lot of submissions and that people will, well, like the series. Right guys, I will see you guys later today. This was Alco193 with the duel puzzle explanation video. See you later.